Hey guys, so my name is Anna Paula. I'm the pre-production manager. I wanted to go through this transparent background PDF that I set up. So what I did in this file is I have both a Photoshop tutorial and a Photoshop alternate site that I found online that's super easy to create a file with a transparent background. The image that I used was a flower with a solid background just to show how easy it can be. I recommend finding a artwork or creating artwork that has a very solid background if you're going to do a transparency on it, just because it allows you to, in Photoshop or the site that I have listed, it'll allow you to select the background and easily delete it as you go along. So I did a before and after image of what the artwork would look like. So on the right hand side is the filled background, which is just a boxed image, and on the left, as you can see, is a image of just the flower without the green dark background. So in Photoshop, say you're a Photoshop user, you just go into Photoshop and you import or open the image that you want to use. From there, you select you use the magic wand tool or the quick selection tool, whatever your preference is, and you select the background color or just the background itself that you want to delete. Once that's selected, you can use your delete button on your keyboard, or you can go into edit and delete that, which would leave you with a blank image. And you'll notice in the background will become more of like a gray palette, grayscale background, and that's just the canvas in Photoshop itself, just showing that the layer is empty. If there's nothing else you want to edit, like if you don't want to, if you're fine with the saturation coloring or the brightness, what have you, you can go to File, Save As. The important thing to remember here is when you're saving the file is that you do not save it as a JPEG, but as a PNG. PNG is the file that allows there to be a transparency in the image. So the way it's saved is as you see the flower. There will not be any white background, there won't be any green background. It'll be as it is on the canvas itself. So once you save it as a PNG, be sure to follow the PNG options that I have listed in the screenshot. I put for compression as smallest or slow. You can also do none or fast, but I prefer the smallest because it's easier to upload. In the interlace option, you would click interlaced, and from there, as you can see, you upload it to your studio, and there that image that you saved from your Photoshop file will have a transparent background, which is the goal. So Pat Edsel, I hope I said your last name correctly. If there's more than one color in the background, then it's the same idea. You can still use your magic wand tool. There's also a way of selecting the colors using I believe it's in your toolbar, select, and you go to color range, which is a great question that you mentioned that because I used that this morning. Say you wanted to delete like this portion of the flower. What you would do is you would go to select, color range, and from here you'll see, oh, this little section happened from the past. Just ignore that. It should be all black. But you won't be able to see the image unless you hit image, and then it'll pop up here in this little preview box. From here, what you'll do is you'll select the colors that you want to delete. You can click on, say, this white portion, and with doing that, it'll take all the sampled colors within this section of the image, and you'll hit OK, and as you can see, it found those little sample portions, and you can easily delete them as you go. You know, it varies with each image. It could be a larger selection. This was just more of little whites that were in this part of the flower. And with that, you can again save it as I had shown you in the PDF of making sure it's a PNG. Say I want to delete more of the image. You don't have to go color by color because I know that's very time consuming. You can use your magic wand tool of just selecting that. Or what it also comes in handy is going into this little magic wand tool and holding down. You'll also have the quick selection tool to enlarge your cursor or your selector. I like to use the brackets, and you can easily, brackets found on your keyboard, and that easily allows you to enlarge or shrink your cursor. From there, you can do a larger selection very quickly and delete. Or if you want to, if say your background is very, very complicated and you just want the back, like this flower itself, you can also do the quick selection tool as I showed you right now. And you can go to select, inverse, and that will select the background of everything, and you hit delete, and it just keeps the flower itself. Yeah, we allow PNG files as long as they're to size of that product that you want to put the image on. You know, modal scarf, you want to make sure that your image is at 300 dpi is the best. The thing is that I've noticed in the past is we will receive images that are 300, but it'll be very small. It'll be sent in as like a 4x4 for a scarf that is 28 by 80 in dimensions. So when you're saving your images, I want you to be sure that you're checking the image size and not just forcing the DPI to be 300. And if it is too low of a resolution, to retake the photo or rescan it, however you're taking it, and resubmitting it. Photoshop Elements, I believe it's the same thing. I don't use it as much. I have the CC, but I want to say that it's the same settings because it kind of follows the Photoshop alternative that I have on the sheet. Going into File or going into Select, whatever their tools are, they're very similar to the Photoshop program that I was using. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the PDF. It's called Pixlr Editor, and here is also the step-by-step on how to use it. It's very, very simple. You basically can either create a new image or you can open one from your computer, which is what I did. Again, I'm using the flower to stay consistent with the sample that we were using before. What products can one use the transparencies? We can use it, really we can use it on anything. I just want you to know that the background color of the actual product will be shown. So, you know, our modal scarves are not white. They're more of like a cream based, or there's other products that change color depending on the supplier. So I want to make sure that everyone is aware that if you're going to be using a transparent color, it's going to be the background of the actual fabric. Okay, so moving on with the Pixlr Editor. Again, here I imported the image that I'm using. And again, I'm using the Magic Wand tool, which I've screenshot so you know what the icon looks like. You select your background and then you delete. The only real difference is the interface or the look of the site, but they all have the same or similar settings. Basically, you're selecting what you don't want to keep in the image, you delete it, and then you save it. Most important is to save the format as a PNG. And even in this site, it'll say PNG, transparent, full quality. So I think this has even more of a visual and verbal guidance of knowing what you're clicking, what you're saving, how it's being saved. And from there, again, you can go, there's one little difference. It has you save one more time, which is the file type, and just for the format, have all files. And then again, you go into your VIDA Studio, upload it, and you'll see the preview image, and of course, adjust it as to your liking. So you're asking, if there's white in the image, does it print white, or is the white the color of the fabric? Yep, it would print white because that's part of the image. So Maggie just brought up one of the examples our graphic designer helped us clean up. So this was the original, the one with the blue background here, and what we needed her to do was to remove the blue. But as you can see, you know, there was a lot of little creases that she had to work through, and here again, I believe she used the Magic Wand tool or the Quick Selection tool. It did take some time, but it was worth it because in the end, she was able to remove all of the blue and still keeping the integrity of that photo. And yes, it's a separate program. It's one from a browser. It's a website, so there's no need to pay for anything. You just click into the link and it'll take you to the home page where you can easily do the editing that you want to do on that image. No, Linda, no, you don't need to have Photoshop in order to use Pixlr. That's the beauty of that URL of that website. You can easily access it for free. Gloria, so we do everything from our VIDA shop. I mean, for uploading your images? If that's the question, then yes. It's great to have the preview images, and from that preview image, it gets linked to a program I use, and I send it off to our template team who create the print-ready files in order to print out the artwork on the product that you selected. Webinars. We have a list, Linda, of other webinars coming up. But I mean, if you all have any ideas that you'd like to share with us that you want to hear more about, it's very helpful because we want to keep these webinars going for the design to ensure all artists are getting their questions answered. So whatever ideas that you're wondering about, please let us know.
Awesome. Well, thank you to everyone for joining. Really appreciate it. and looking forward to more webinars to come.